Hey guys, welcome back to So Love. I wanted to give you a quick update on our mini orchard. I didn't get to do that in one of the garden walks, and I did promise I would do it. So here's a quick update on how our little orchard is growing. All right, so this is our, I believe, blackberry bush. This is from a bush that I had growing in the garden last year. I don't know, you really, unless you want the blackberries and raspberries honestly to take over, I would not recommend putting them in the ground because they let off a lot of runners and you'll end up with a huge blackberry patch or raspberry patch. Now, unless you really want that, be mindful of trying to put them in a contained area. I did tell you about some blackberries that I moved down into kind of the ditch area where I'm okay with them taking over. But lately I've had second thoughts about that, so I might end up digging those up and moving them into containers. So we'll see. This is a gooseberry, which actually has set some fruit. These are really hard. They do soften up. Last year I actually had a lot more than this. I probably need to change the soil on this pot, add some more soil and change the soil because it's probably outgrown this pot. But as you can see, these are green gooseberries. They'll soften up a little bit and get a little more tan. They're a little sweet, mostly tart. I did want to try to intentionally use them this year. This is our eucalyptus, which really needs to be pruned. So this is actually going on its, I want to say maybe third year, which I'm actually really surprised that it's surviving our winters. I do put it in the hoop house. I had one a few years ago that did die, even regardless of me putting it in the hoop house. So I'm excited that this one is still living. I put some of this in a floral arrangement for my daughter's birthday. It was really pretty. So I need to do more of that to encourage it also to get a little bushier, to get a little more bushy. Fig plant here. Last year was the first year we got fruit off of our figs. So I'm hoping that we're able to get another harvest. It was a small harvest, but it was still just nice to get some figs. Not seeing any figs just yet. So it is still early, but hopefully those are coming. Here is an olive tree, which I see a weed. We had olives last year. Actually quite a few olives that came off of this little tree. So we'll see if we get any more. I did attempt to kind of preserve them. I was not successful. So I do want to try again just to kind of see how it goes. I just spotted some okra seedlings that are coming up over here. So that's good to see. I actually forgot I planted those. Okra, those are one thing you can plant in like not the best soil and they'll grow and be okay. Okras tend to, I think, do better in soil that's not as good because they don't need a whole lot of attention. So what I'm trying to do this year is just experimenting with growing them in other areas in my garden. So that's good to see those are up. This is a goji berry bush, which normally does load itself with fruit. Goji berry bushes are pretty cool because they will let off little shoots and you can pull those up and plant them as well. Lots of weeds and snapdragons coming up in the little pot. I planted some zinnia in a lot of these pots, so it's good to see that coming up. This is a pink senorita zinnia. So that'll be pretty amongst these thornless raspberries, which this is the first year for these, so I'm not expecting to really get much fruit. And really they say you should probably pick off the fruit the first year. I usually don't stress that too much and have been okay so far. This is a peach tree, which has not, or this is either the peach or the nectarine. I'm not sure exactly which one. It has not had any blooms. This is, look at there. I didn't notice. I was just about to say it has not had any blooms or fruit. Okay, so this is a nectarine. Look at there, that's the first one. We'll see if the squirrels don't get to it. It looks like it's just that one, so that's pretty cool to see. So I need to change this to nectarine. So this one must be the Alberta peach, which does not have any fruit on it, which is fine. These are now, let's say maybe about 5 years old, 6 years old. No, about 5 years old now. They had bloomed over at my old house. Since they've been here, they have not bloomed at all. So that's exciting to see a little nectarine. Mulberries here do have a few fruits on them, some that are actually ready. I had tried to get, I can't remember what they're called, but it's a long mulberry. It grows to be about that long, but it died. So I actually want to try to get that kind of tree again. Oh, these are tasty. So I'm pulling off the black mulberries. Let's see. And just trying them out. They're actually really, really good. It tastes like kind of a blackberry, I don't know, almost blueberry taste. Let's see what kind this is. That's a, I guess a Dewar mulberry, and it's self-pollinating. So that means it doesn't need another plant to produce fruit. That's a nice little garden snack. Oh, very good. So here I have a lemon. I think that's a Meyer lemon tree. I've had that a few years. It seems to be pretty resilient so far. Like it has died all the way down and come back, or seemingly died. I do put it in the hoop house each winter to make sure it doesn't die. But you can actually harvest the leaves for tea and things like that. I believe this is a raspberry bush. Yeah, this is a raspberry bush. It does have thorns. This is the first year of me having it. And as you can see, it's in a pot also. Another goji berry, and that's actually a cutting from the other goji berry that I have. This is another lemon tree. This is the Meyer lemon. So the other one just must be a regular lemon tree, unless, actually no, that is a Meyer lemon also. I was able to root some one year. So there's 2 Meyer lemons. This is a loquat tree, and it still has the praying mantis egg on it. That has not come out yet. I planted a little chamomile into the pot as well, just because I had a little space. Right next to it is a pomegranate, which has not borne any fruit just yet. I've heard pomegranates do pretty well down here in Georgia. There's a couple people that I've heard grow them just in ground. They don't move them inside. They're pretty established. So this one is about 5 years. It started off as a really, really teeny tiny little plant that has gotten, nice size. Not huge, but it's gotten to be a nice size. This is the golden delicious apple tree, which occasionally will get aphids. It's a little fluffy white aphid. So I'll come out and either spray it with water. You can see kind of the residue from the aphids here. Spray it with water. Sometimes I'll just crush them with my hand. I think we've gotten 1 apple from that tree so far. and that was actually at the old house. So maybe next year she'll bless us with some apples. This one is a pink lady, and this is its first year in ground. It's new to me as well. It's doing okay. It had dropped quite a few leaves when I first got it, and it looks like it's struggling to keep this little fruit on, so I'm actually going to go ahead and pull that off. But we'll see how it does. Just keep an eye on it. I'll fertilize it probably in the fall. Walking down, this is a variegated elderberry bush here, which can get really, really huge. It has set flowers 2 years, and I just love the variegation on the leaves. It's really, really pretty. This is another blackberry, I believe. Yeah, these are three or four blackberry bushes from the ones that I dug up that were right outside the garden. This here is a plum tree, which when I first got it had a bunch of fruit on it. I figured it would drop the fruit, and it did. Went into probably a little bit of transplant shock from getting planted into the ground. But I am excited to have a plum tree because that's one of our favorite fruits here around the house. And then we have one more fig tree that is in ground. I do plan on keeping all of these trees fairly low cut. So that means heavy pruning every year just to make sure they don't get huge. This one is starting to set some fruit, so that's pretty exciting. Let's see, that's the only place I see it so far, but awesome. That one's starting to set some fruit. Over here are the blackberry bushes, and then I have lots of strawberry plants running along the ground here, along with some comfrey. I will be covering these blueberry bushes this week to make sure to protect them from the birds. There's also some asparagus planted over here. I mentioned this in another video that I found a serviceberry bush randomly planted amongst the blueberries. So I will likely dig this out and move it to another place because I don't think this is the best place for that. Serviceberries are native plants to the US, so I definitely want to keep that around. I think this is the pink lemonade blueberry, I think. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Please leave any questions or comments down below. If you have a mini orchard at your home, any tips you can share. If you also have an orchard and you're growing in Georgia Zone 8A, let me know what varieties you might be growing. Specifically, any tips you have as it relates to peaches. I've heard that you're supposed to treat them with copper each year to prevent rust or some type of I guess fungal disease they normally get. So if you have a specific peach regimen that works for you, please leave that below. I'd love to hear about it. But thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, you guys.